finish line once again. Wow, and you see the attacking driving of David Sutton. Now, he isn't driving to attack the guy in front of him. There isn't one there. Well, there's a back marker. And again, you see there, cart number 42, Steel Juliana, and in trouble from Jack Hawksworth pursuing. So the 1, 2 and 3 looking a little bit vulnerable for the Aussie now, because cart number 42, Steel Juliana, having succumbed, I think, to the battle pressure from Jack Hawksworth. So the guys who are leading the Stars of Tomorrow series in England, look, if I can see from my screen, yes, there is David Sutton quite clearly, and Jack Hawksworth in cart 12th is clearly past Steel Juliana, who's already detached. I do hope Steel hasn't got a problem. If Steel is going to lose the race, let's hope that he loses it for racing reasons and not because he's got a problem. Steel just looks over to the right. He must be feeling a little bit down at the moment. If somebody else goes past, and Steel Juliana in real trouble. Oh, this is going wrong for the young Aussie. Well, Steel Juliana, who didn't do a thing wrong on qualifying practice on pole, didn't do a thing wrong in the heats, went pretty good for most of the pre-final, but things going a little bit wrong at the moment. Steel Juliana in cart 42, struggling to stay in third position ahead of Alexandra Besak. Steel Juliana, very, very, very gutsy young lad. Came second in the Macau Grand Prix in December last year, and hoping to repeat that, well no, not repeat that, I was hoping to win the race, but what I meant was making a repeat visit to Macau, down in the, well, is it the South China Sea? I know that Macau was formerly a Portuguese colony off the southern tip of mainland China. Perhaps I'll forget the geography lesson and we'll start commentating again. This is David Sutton, cart number 54, from the north of England, driving for Team Abago, the indoor karting centre. He leads Jack Hawksworth. Jack Hawksworth is also from the north of England, Bradford. So these are two Yorkshiremen. And the county of Yorkshire in England is noted for gritty people. Not a lot of finesse, not a lot of sophistication, but solid, gritty people. And David Sutton and Jack Hawksworth right in that mould. That's not to say that Steel Juliana is not pretty solid and pretty gritty. They don't breed them soft on Sydney side, that's for sure, especially if you race in motorsport. Well, Alexandra Besak in cart 15, smooth drive by him, looking to steal, if you will, Steel Juliana's podium place at the moment. Steel has 5 remaining laps in which to defend it and try to make further forward progress, but here is the race leader. 1 1/4 seconds lead on the field for David Sutton. Well, I said 1 1/4, the caption suggests it's a little bit less, but you know what I'm saying. David Sutton has a second to spare on Jack Hawksworth. Steel Juliana still in third place, but Alexander Besak putting on the pressure. Mats van der Brand, the gutsy drive from the driver, banged up yesterday, still 11th. See that run of Dutchman there, Steven Ballering, as well as Mats van der Brand. Sven van Bergijk having a little bit of a problem. Ali Heinemeyer, cart number 21. It's not going so well for Ali Heinemeyer. There is Mats van der Brand, cart number 11. There is cart number 16 behind him. Cart number 16 is Nick van Klinken. We know a lot about Nick van Klinken and his father Rob, who often amuses us. 3 laps to go. Nick van Klinken, been racing karting for 2 years, and was 5th in the Dutch Rotax Challenge with 3 victories last year. Likes to be called Quick Nick, but then so does Nick Wright, the Andalusian champion, or Andalusian champion. Well, we have 3 laps to go. Can anybody reel in David Sutton? Can Steel Juliana hang on to his podium place? Can Alexandra Besak, who has gone particularly well, hold off the challenge of Danny Shelniger? Kazuki Hiramini is noted for a last couple of laps charges. Can he do something in 6th place? Ali Heinemeyer, who I mentioned, is running in 17th place at the moment. Egyptian mother, German father, very much an international driver, but this lad is instead your solid Yorkshireman, 54, David Sutton. Well, David Sutton has already gone through with a 1.071 gap on Jack Hawksworth, so the clock is saying that Jack Hawksworth is taking a little bit out of David Sutton, but maybe you will agree with me that David Sutton is now driving within himself, not quite at 10 tenths, for the simple reason that he doesn't have to. We're on 1.5 laps to go. Steel Juliana looks still very alert, as he needs to be, because if Steel Juliana made a mistake and was to lose third place to Alexandra Besak now and to be pushed off the podium, that would be pretty sorry. Well, here is Steel Juliana hanging on to a podium place from Australia. Here is the Frenchman, Alexandra Besak, trying to get past him. Alexandra Besak tracking him, and Steel Juliana, who's gone so well in the meeting so far, could be in danger of losing a podium place. We have just over 1 lap to go. The race leaders coming up to the last lap. Last lap, Steel Juliana in cart 42. Can he hang on to the podium place? Can Alexandra Besak steal that last place on the podium right at the end? It's a dramatic finish to the junior final. Of course, that's assuming that this man, 54 David Sutton, doesn't have a disaster on the last lap. See that little glance over his right shoulder? You don't see anything, David, because it's over a second away before you come to the next of the drivers, which is Jack Hawksworth in cart number 12. Here is Steel Juliana holding off Alexander Besak. Here's the checkered flag, and David Sutton wins it. Jack Hawksworth is second, and Steel Juliana puts his hand in the air to say, oh, that was maybe a little bit disappointing, but at least I'm on the podium. So David Sutton, Jack Hawksworth and Steel Juliana are the 1, 2, 3. Alexandra Besak is 4th, Daniel Schellnigger 5th, Kazuki Hiramine 6th, Kevin Corhugh 7th, Nick Voss up to 8th, Maxime Hughes finishes 9th, and the gutsy Mats van der Brand completes a top 10 finish in 10th place. Well, David Sutton, the winner in cart number 54. I can say it now, so I won't be putting the commentator's curse on him. Very much in a rich vein of form. He was racing in Scotland last weekend and won all of the races, or the finals of the races there in the Stars of Tomorrow at the Scottish circuit at Larkhall. Here he is at the Austrian circuit at the A1 Speedworld, and hey, he's won again. One little blot on the copybook. He won a heat on Friday, but was it Saturday? Was disqualified for having been assessed as a not disqualified, was given a time penalty as a result of a jump start, but it's all come right at the end. So it's an England 1 and 2, David Sutton and Jack Hawksworth. Australia on the podium in the shape of Steel Juliana in 3rd place. Well, I say again, a gutsy drive for Mats van der Brand. I'm not favouring any of the drivers that I see. I'm neutral across the board, but I have to acknowledge my respect for Mats van der Brand, who took a heck of a thump when he whacked the fence yesterday, but had the guts to come out and race today. Slightly disappointing for the lady driver, Sandra Simberger lost places in the race, eventually finished 23rd, but the best of the lady drivers came home in 23rd place. Carlos Galive, the little lad who I was suggesting is going to be really good on his day, only in 28th place, but did make some places up, and well, made 6 or 7 places up. So a reasonable result at the end of a disappointing day.